VEKTOR online. Case file open. In May of 2021, the largest fuel pipeline in the United States shut down for 5 days. Gas stations ran dry across the southeast, and a federal emergency was declared. The cause was not a bomb or a storm. It was one password for one virtual private network account with no second factor, a password that had already leaked. The crew was an affiliate of darkside, ransomware as a service, crime with a business model. This is the Colonial Pipeline attack, walked stage by stage with the defender view at every hop. Everything here is public record, congressional testimony, federal advisories, and Justice Department filings. Debrief begins now. Stage 1. Reconnaissance. Ransomware affiliates do not study one victim for months, they shop. Stolen credentials circulate in dumps and underground markets, sorted by company, and remote access points like virtual private network gateways are continuously indexed by scanning services. A legacy VPN account at Colonial, still active, its password present in a leaked credential set, was exactly the kind of inventory this economy trades in. Defender view. Your Recon surface is every remote access door plus every credential your people have reused somewhere that later got breached. Credential exposure monitoring, checking your own domains against public dumps, is cheap, and an inventory of which VPN accounts are still alive and who owns them is cheaper. Colonial's account was legacy, the worst kind, working but unowned. Stage 2. Access. On April 29, 2021, someone logged into Colonial's network through that VPN account. No exploit, no phishing email required, according to the investigators who worked the case. Just a valid password on an account that did not ask for a second factor. The front door opened because it was unlocked. Defender view. This is a kill point, the cleanest in the entire case file. Multi-factor authentication on remote access kills this attack outright. A leaked password becomes a failed login instead of a foothold. And the login itself was visible, a dormant account waking up, possibly from infrastructure the company had never seen. Impossible travel rules, dormant account alerts, and conditional access policies all fire on exactly this event. Stage 3. Discovery. Inside the corporate network, the intruders mapped what they had: file servers, credential stores, and the shape of the business itself, because double extortion needs leverage, not just access. They located and staged roughly 100 gigabytes of internal data for theft. Defender view. Staging is a detectable act. Large volumes of files flowing from many servers toward one internal collection point, archives being created at odd hours, compression tools appearing on machines that never used them, egress monitoring and canary files, decoy documents that alarm when touched, both catch this stage. The defender's advantage is that thieves must gather before they can carry, and gathering is loud. Stage 4. Privilege escalation. To deploy ransomware across an enterprise, affiliates work toward domain administrator rights, harvesting credentials from memory, abusing service accounts, and reusing the same few techniques that work almost everywhere. Because almost everywhere, the same hygiene gaps exist. Defender view. The artifacts are well documented. Credential dumping tools touching system memory, new accounts joining privileged groups, authentication storms as one account fans out across servers, privileged access management, tiered admin accounts that never log into ordinary workstations, and alerts on privileged group changes shrink this stage from days to never. Every hop the attacker makes here is also a log line, if the logs are kept and watched. Stage 5. Lateral movement and detonation. With broad access, the affiliate exfiltrated the staged data, then released the ransomware across the corporate IT network on May 7th. Within hours, Colonial made the defining decision of the incident. It shut the pipeline itself down, not because the control systems were confirmed infected, but because the company could not be certain where IT ended and operations began, including whether it could even bill for fuel. Defender view. This is a kill point. Segmentation between business networks and operational technology is the control that turns a corporate ransomware event into an inconvenience instead of a fuel crisis. The pipeline did not stop because pumps were hacked. It stopped because the boundary was not provable under pressure. Prove your boundaries before someone else schedules the test. Stage 6. Impact. 5 days of shutdown. Panic buying drained stations across multiple states, flights rerouted for fuel, and a regional emergency declaration followed. Colonial paid the ransom, roughly 75 Bitcoin, worth around $4.4 million at the time, a decision its chief executive defended to Congress as made under national consequence. This is a kill point in the response sense. Defender view. Impact here was availability, not data, and the mitigation is rehearsed resilience, offline backups that restore at production speed, a tested manual operations plan, and a payment decision framework agreed before the crisis, with counsel and insurers, instead of invented at 3 in the morning. The organizations that refuse ransom are the ones that practiced losing everything first. Stage 7. Fallout. Within a month, the Justice Department clawed back roughly $2.3 million of the payment by seizing the private key to the wallet holding most of the affiliate's share. Proof that cryptocurrency moves on rails that can be traced and, sometimes, gripped. Darkside announced it was shutting down, its brand suddenly a liability. And the sector changed, mandatory pipeline cybersecurity directives arrived, and ransomware was reframed in Washington as critical infrastructure risk, not just corporate crime. Defender view. This is a kill point on the economics. Seizures, sanctions on payment channels, and affiliates burned by their own brand raise the cost side of the ransomware business model. Defense is not only a firewall, it is every action that makes the enterprise less profitable. Where it dies. 4 controls, 4 chances. First, multi-factor authentication on every remote access path. No exceptions for legacy accounts because legacy accounts are the exception attackers shop for. Second, credential exposure and dormant account hygiene. Your password may already be public. The question is whether the account it opens still works. Third, segmentation you can prove. The boundary between business systems and operations must hold under uncertainty, or uncertainty itself becomes the outage. Fourth, rehearsed recovery, offline backups, manual operation drills, and a ransom decision made calmly in advance. Defend, detect, respond. 1 leaked credential. No fresh exploit, no active phishing, just a dormant VPN account nobody had closed. That single credential enabled the breach that prompted Colonial to shut down the largest fuel pipeline in the United States for 5 days. Multi-factor authentication would likely have blocked access at the login screen. 1 control, 1 credential. That's all it cost them. The pipeline didn't stop because hackers hit the pumps. Colonial shut it down as a precaution. Ransomware was on the business side, and without confidence that the boundary to operations was clean, they couldn't risk leaving it running. Weak segmentation and limited visibility made the call unavoidable. Segment your network, or the uncertainty you never resolved becomes the outage you never planned for. Case file closed. Next debrief, an employee joins a video call with his chief financial officer and colleagues, follows their instructions, and wires away $25 million. Every face on that call was synthetic. The deepfake fraud kill chain, stage by stage, and where it dies. The full stories behind these case files live on our sister channel, Cyber Story. Debrief complete. Go hunt.